Greetings, YouTube. It's my Kaylee7 here, your internet riding pal. You can go for a virtual ride with me. Alright, so what's going on with me? Whew. I am happy that it's Friday. Happy to have a 3-day weekend. I am, as the Indians would say, I'm couché lagé. I am heureux in French. Let's see, I am... I don't know how to say it in Spanish, sorry. Quoi in Chinese. Spanish. I can't think of any other language right now. Content. Je suis content. French. I did 2 French. Oh, anyway. A little bit of language for you right there. 6:04 p.m. Got some good responses on my recent video about appropriateness and change. Everybody gets offended so easily now, and it only seems to be getting worse. Someday I won't fit at all. And that's when you're like, well, it's good that people grow old and die, because at some point you just look at it and go, what the hell is this shit show? I can't take this anymore. You people are completely nuts. It's kind of like culture across countries, you know. From one culture to another culture. And you go from, let's say, Boston to Italy to Naples, Italy, and that's a culture shock and a half right there. Or you go from North Carolina to Tokyo, that's a culture shock right there. Or you go from North Carolina now to North Carolina 30 years ago, that's a culture shock right there. Oh, you want to hear some culture shock stories? I'll give you a couple of them. So when I was in Fiji, here's a couple of culture shock stories I had to get used to. Fiji is a developing country, third world country, as they used to say. And so, you know, I came from Boston, where technology and all that. Thoroughly insulated from nature, except for the cold. So now they drop me in Fiji there, you know, and I'm going through training, and they take us after, I think it was 3 weeks of initial welcome to Fiji stuff, where we're living with a host family. Everybody had different host families. I lived with Indians, because half the population in Fiji is originally from India, where their ancestors are. And I lived, you know, it was a house. So then they take us to our 3-month training areas, where we have to spend 3 months living in a context similar to the ones that we're going to be in for 2 years. The bus first went to the Fijian villages, and we're rolling up in there in these huge buses, and it's unpaved roads with, you know, ruts in them and stuff, and so you're going up and down, bouncing all over the damn place. As you pull into this place, you know there's no electricity. And then you see these corrugated tin shacks or full-on woven mat type shacks, you know, shacks made out of woven material from trees and stuff. It's called mbure. And I'm sitting there looking at it going, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I have to live here? I mean, there were really no rooms in the houses. It was one big room, and you'd separate off with like sheets that you could see through anyway. There's no privacy. And it was, you know, no screens, and it was hot as hell. There's mosquitoes and bugs everywhere, and walking around barefoot. And I was like, oh. Didn't want to do that, but thank goodness it wasn't my village where I was staying. So we dropped off all the people who were going to the Fijian groups. And then we went over to the Indian side. It's not paved, it's gravel road, but it's, you know, flat. And there's actual houses with like louver bladed windows in them, with yards and stuff and cars, and like, okay, this is more my speed. Yeah, baby. When we get to this area, you know, it was a house, it was on stilts. There was a chicken coop underneath. There was cows in the field. The guy was growing his own food and stuff, you know, big field farmers and all. And that was all right. That was all right. Even that was hard, but it was all right because they had electricity, they had refrigerated stuff. I mean, I had a bed. I wasn't walking around barefoot. It was still kind of a shock, but whew. And then when I came back from Fiji, I had another reverse culture shock because I got used to living in a place where people live in basic corrugated tin shack houses with louver bladed windows, one light bulb, a small refrigerator. Everybody who owned a car, it was a taxi. Every car was a taxi because you couldn't just afford to have a car. You had to, you know, make money using the car. Dirt roads everywhere, gravel roads, cows running through the streets. Very quiet at night. No street lights. There's no streets. Then I get to America, and the first thing I noticed was how full of stuff my mom's house was. And my mom always prided herself on not having a lot of knickknacks. But by Fiji standards, man, she was overloaded with them. I was so stunned at how packed full of stuff her house was. And then the living room. In Fiji, the living room is, you got a coffee table, you got a settee facing another settee or a couple of chairs, and you sit and face each other and you talk. But in America, all the living room furniture faced the wall that the TV was on. The wall unit where the TV was inside the wall unit. Everybody was focused on the TV. I hadn't watched TV in 2 years. Didn't even miss it. That was a big culture shock. And I was like, you guys, you don't know, that thing's evil. It sucked me in. Within a couple of months, I was watching TV just like everybody else. Man, that was rough to get used to, though. All the stuff Americans have. Man, we have stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. You go to Fiji, you got corrugated tin. You know that corrugated tin that's all U-shaped, you know, up and down, up and down? That's the wall. That's the only wall. There's no interior wall. It's just the inside of the corrugated tin. On a wood frame, you know, basic wood frame with one light bulb or maybe a fluorescent light in the corner. Concrete floor with linoleum across it. Very, very basic living. No air conditioning, no screens on the windows. Mosquitoes everywhere, bugs everywhere. Ooh. People say, are you going to go back to visit? Sorry. Nope. I done my service. Anyway, that's my little rant on culture shock. I'm not saying that America's better. I'm not saying North Carolina's better. There's no place better. There's just places that you're most suited to. And this is my little piece of heaven. All right. Mike Haley 7, I'll talk to you later.